So 2025, we've officially seen it all, but nobody expected to see this. The self-proclaimed strongest alpha male on the internet. The guy who built an entire empire around calling himself a kickboxing world champion. The untouchable, perfectly masculine iron-jawed top G. And then the bell rang, and what we saw was honestly hard to watch. I'll be real. I knew from the beginning that Andrew Tate wasn't the fighter he claimed to be. You could tell from his old sparring clips, you could tell from those low-level kickboxing matches he still flexes like they were legendary wars. But even knowing all that, I didn't expect this. Because losing a boxing match is one thing, losing to this guy is something else entirely. No joke, the guy in white is who beat Andrew Tate.
Look at his eyes there. Oh man, he did not want to get hit there. Josh having a lot of success throwing that right hand to the body and coming up top with that left foot.
Yeah, listen, Josh is there. He's trying, but this one might get waved off right now, guys. Yeah,
and that's
it. Laying it off.
It's can fight no more.
Chase is a joke in the boxing space. Nobody takes him seriously. He's not a real fighter. Before boxing, he was a model, a reality TV guy. When he first stepped into the ring, he became famous for one thing, looking like someone who had never trained a day in his life. His early performances weren't intimidating, they were memes, and that's exactly why Andrew picked him. Chase looked terrible on tape. Zero aura, zero fundamentals. The perfect opponent for a guy who wanted a quick win, a highlight clip, and then a straight line to bigger money fights. Andrew clearly thought this would be an easy night. Beat Chase, talk trash, and then call out names like the Logan brothers or KSI. But from the first round, everything went south. It was immediately obvious Andrew Tate wasn't nearly as good as he thought he was. Worse, he clearly didn't train like someone who takes boxing seriously. His timing was off, his movement was stiff, his gas tank was gone. Even elite fighters live in training camps for months, locked in, strict diets. For example, Terrence Crawford reportedly spent around 8 months preparing for his recent fight against Canelo Alvarez. That's what real preparation looks like. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate was still online days before the fight, glazing Musk on Twitter and pretending mindset alone wins boxing matches. Fight night came, and Chase, a guy nobody respects as a boxer, showed up sharper. And yes, Chase is still not a good fighter. But for this night, he trained, and that alone made him levels above Andrew. That's the most embarrassing part. Andrew Tate didn't lose to a great boxer. He lost to a guy he picked because he looked bad, and once you lose like that, everything else collapses. Nobody wants to see him box again. The whole dangerous fighter image is gone, and Tate always wanted the big clout fights. He wanted Jake Paul more than anyone because Jake sells fights. That's why he kept talking trash online, trying to start drama.
There's nobody on the planet who will decline a fight with me.
I heard you say Logan Paul is easier than Jake. If you two fought tomorrow, what happens?
I'd smash Logan. Jake is a lot harder to hit. Logan's very hittable. It's not disrespectful. He's a big guy, but he's very hittable. And if I hit him, he's going to go down.
I'm just going to follow on with that. Just a few more names. If you got in the ring tomorrow with them, in the shape you're in right now, you've finished camp. Yeah. How does it go? KSI, tomorrow you two fight.
Of course I'd beat KSI. I'd kill KSI. And I'm a full-grown man. I can't sit here and admit that any man would beat me when I'm in my best physical condition. I just have to admit some are harder than others.
But the guy you handpicked just beat you miserably while you're in good physical shape. At least now Tate might be more humble when he talks after getting whooped like that. The only thing worse than his performance was the excuses after the loss. Real fighters own the defeat, respect their opponent, and talk about how they'll come back better. Tate, of course, couldn't swallow the beating, so suddenly he was retired, old, his opponent was bigger, and there was an excuse for everything except the obvious.
I didn't get the result I wanted, but truthfully the result I wanted was to see if I could still do it. 40 years old, 10 years retired, a little bit of time in a Romanian dungeon. It was always going to be a big ask against someone so much bigger than me, younger than me, more active than me, but I wanted a real challenge. I didn't want to fight a tin can. I didn't want to fight someone older than me or smaller than me. You know, I felt like I won the first 2 rounds, and then because he's 20 kilo heavier, he started leaning on me and sapped some energy. But I didn't quit, never give up, never retreat, never surrender, fight to the end, go out on your shield. So I have no excuses. Training camp went fantastic. Time is the fire in which we all burn. Unfortunately, a 40-year-old's not a 22-year-old. And when I first agreed to fight, when I told Mans, there was a conversation, and everyone said, Andrew, you're 40 years old. You just got out of jail. You've been through so much. You have so many problems and so much going on. Why would you do this? Why would you risk it all? Why would you get in there? And I felt a tinge of fear for the first time in my life. And that's when I knew I had to fight. Because the second I felt afraid, I knew I had to fight. I can't live doubting myself.
Bro, this guy's talking like he came out of retirement after 5 decades, like he's 90 years old or something. First of all, he keeps saying he's been retired for 10 years, which is just straight up lie. The last time Andrew Tate fought was 2020. That's not some distant era of combat sports. And let's clear this up too. He's 39 years old, yes, almost 40. But even being 40 is not an excuse to look that bad in the ring. Not even close. Look at real fighters. Terrence Crawford is 38, basically the same age as Tate, and he literally made history by beating Canelo Alvarez at a higher weight class. That's what elite looks like. And honestly, look around boxing right now, especially in the heavier divisions. Most champions are in their mid to late 30s. There is no wave of 22-year-old champs running the sport. Experience matters. Age isn't the issue. So yeah, even Tate's damage control is weak. Lying about how long he's been retired, acting like he's some old man and whatever excuse he can grab, none of it changes what everyone saw. Look, I don't want to sound like I'm kicking someone while they're already down. I genuinely respect any man who steps into the ring. Most people talking online wouldn't last 1 round. That part is real. But what makes this whole thing ridiculous is how Andrew Tate, instead of just saying, yeah, I lost, I wasn't good enough, he's talking like this was some kind of divine philosophical defeat. Like we're all supposed to sit down, reflect deeply, and extract life lessons because our master just fell.
I have struggles none of you know about. Am I top G because I never lose? What kind of man would I be if I never lost? Imagine my life went perfectly all the time. Imagine I didn't need to go to the gym and I had muscles and I never lost a fight and I had money from the sky and any girl I wanted and I just went through life and got everything I wanted. I wouldn't even be a good person. I wouldn't be human. I wouldn't know anything about how the world functions. I couldn't teach you anything. I'm not top G because I've never lost. I'm top G because I've been hit so many times and I get back up. I'm top G because I just lost a fight and I'll fight again today. I'm top G because I'm not afraid. I'm top G because I'll keep trying. Do you understand? It's not about never losing. It's about the fact that I will get up and try. It's about the fact that I'm not afraid to lose. And I'm not afraid to be ridiculed. And I'm not afraid to be mocked. That's how I built the life I built. That's how I got yachts and private jets and hundreds of millions of dollars. Because I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid to be laughed at. And I'm not afraid to get fucking hurt. That's why. I put it on the line. I get in the arena. Everyone with an opinion is on the sidelines. Imagine living a life where you're so afraid of loss that you never get to win. You sit in the corner as a coward, writing Twitter comments at people who take risks you will not take. As an insignificant, unknown, a nobody. And you're so afraid of someone saying something bad about you that you're going to sit there and not take the risk. What kind of fucking man does that make you? It makes you the kind of man who is forgotten to history. Napoleon is in the history books. He lost battles. Muhammad Ali lost. Tyson lost. Champions sometimes lose. Sometimes the stars just don't align and you just lose.
And now he's out here comparing himself to Napoleon and Muhammad Ali. Like, come on, man. Napoleon lost empires. Ali fought the best fighters on the planet and changed the sport forever. You didn't lose to history. You lost a boxing match to a reality TV guy. This isn't some legendary downfall we're going to study in textbooks. It's not great men fall so they rise again. It's just someone hyping himself so much that when reality hit, the fall looked way worse than it needed to be. Of course, just a couple minutes later, he's back crying again, saying how he would have destroyed Chase if he didn't get tired.
Tristan said to me, "What happened?" I said, "I got tired. I don't know why." He said, "You deserve that win. You've been through so much. You deserve that win." I said, "I know." He goes, "You trained so hard. You're in fantastic shape." I said, "I know. I just got tired. If I didn't get tired, I would have beat him. He couldn't hit me in the first round. Couldn't touch me." And he said to me, "I'm tired, Andrew, of watching you find the silver linings in all of the clouds. You deserve to have a sunny day. You're so good at finding a silver lining on a cloud. Every time something bad happens, you find a way to learn something or make it good, but I'm tired of you having to suffer all the time. And look for the silver linings. Why can't you just ever have a nice day? Why can't you ever have a sunny day?
So yeah, Andrew Tate has completely lost the image he was trying to sell. And honestly, it's kind of refreshing to see a real reality check. If you want to see more takes like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel.